Hello everyone, this is Highlander with another MTG custom Magic card review. Here we have a card by Hergusbergus called Lose Oneself. So let's see what we got going on here. We've got a 1 mana instant, uncommon. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature, or have Lose Oneself. I keep wanting to say lose yourself. Lose oneself, deal 3 damage to you. Lose oneself, deals 3 damage to any target. Um, Okay, first of all, the thing that jumps out to me is the art, right? And I've said this in a lot of other videos. Um, it's hard to find good Magic art, especially if you're trying to fit the art to a card that you've already designed. I've been in that situation many times. Okay, I know that that's difficult, but I never. So for me personally, I never go the route of taking art that like doesn't look like it should be on a Magic card. Um, because when you're reviewing when you're evaluating a magic card, it should be evaluated as if it was a real magic card. Okay, the fact that it's a custom card doesn't really give it a pass in that area. So the fact that this is kind of this weird like cartoony style, um, that's just a hit against the card. It just doesn't have real art. So um, oh, let's read this flavor text. And with her final act came tragedy. Oh, that's a she. And with her final act came tragedy. Okay. Kroll Galaxy News Reporter. Um, okay, the card itself. So it's a lightning bolt with the downside, which I mean, you would want your lightning bolt to have a downside at this point because we know now that lightning bolt is too good. This downside. So this is a very flexible downside. You can sacrifice a creature or have lose yourself deal 3 damage to you. I think most of the time you're going to take the damage. Um, yeah, I mean, so thinking from a limited perspective here, I think this is a perfectly reasonable card. Um, I kind of like that this is 3 damage because 2 damage is like pretty free, right? But 3 damage you're starting to get into the realm of like, okay, well, this kind of hurts, right? And it has this additional flexibility of being able to sacrifice a creature, which is probably a worse uh, cost, a harsher cost than dealing 3 damage to yourself. But it's also situational, right? I mean, there are situations where you're low in life, so you may sacrifice a creature instead. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think I like this card. You do have to be careful with deal 3 damage for 1 mana, right? Now, and the other thing is this is any target. So like, okay, the closest thing we have to this nowadays is Frostbite, right? Where Frostbite deals 2 damage, but if you control 3 more snow permanents, it deals 3 damage, right? So this is close to Lightning Bolt, but it's only to creatures or planeswalkers. It cannot go face. Okay. Um, this one does go face. So, and it's essentially non-conditional in the sense that you're always getting 3 damage. You just have to pay sort of a heavier cost. Um, yeah, I mean, I think this is probably fine, though it's a little risky, right? It's a little risky to introduce something like this into the meta, um, because this is going to be really strong in red decks, right? Red decks don't really care about uh, taking 3 damage usually, um, and you even have the additional option of being able to sacrifice a creature. Yeah, you got to be a little careful with this. I think like this might be okay. This card. It really depends on like the format it's in. Um, whether the format's aggressive, whether it's not. Uh, you know whether there's a good red deck or not. Aggressive one. Usually there is. Um, so I would say this card is probably okay, but very risky. So you could consider alternatives to this card. So one thing you could do, for example, is you could have this deal damage to only creatures or planeswalkers, but maybe make the, but at that point you could probably have it deal 3 damage, or excuse me, have it deal 2 damage, maybe, or you could, you could even say something like, you know, sacrifice a creature or pay 1. So it's like a lightning strike, or you can sacrifice a creature to make it cheaper. Um, of course, that doesn't really fit the flavor of the card. So, yeah, I mean, I'll give this card a sort of a cautious 4 out of 5. I think it's a fine card, but it's a little dangerous, um, and it's very much format dependent on whether this card is overpowered or whether it's correctly powered. So, but yeah, I mean, I think oh, you know what? I'm sorry, I can't give it a 4 out of 5 because of the art. Sorry, man. I gotta drop your grade to a 3 out of 5. The art ruins it. So yeah, we're gonna go with the 3 out of 5 for Lose Oneself. Thank you for watching.